Let's talk about Kofun, because the mystery surrounding them is rarely brought up or discussed, but these are very ancient burial mounds in Japan. It's estimated that there's over 160,000 of them across the entire country. Some of them are larger than others. The largest one is in Sakai City and has a surface area larger than the Giza Pyramid. I mean, if you just look at it next to the entire city and all the surrounding buildings, it looks massive. Over the years, these mounds have become overgrown with trees, but they're suspected to look very different under all the growth. If you look closely, these mounds look very symmetrical and intelligently designed. So the question is, who built them? Mainstream historians will tell you that these were built between the year 200 and 600 as tombs for important people like emperors and war heroes. There's no doubt that this is true for a lot of the smaller Kofun, but what I really want to focus on is the large ones for a few reasons. First of all, it's suspected that the largest one in Sakai City was the burial ground for an emperor based off of an ancient text. It's worth noting that none of the large ones have been excavated as far as the public knows about. These areas are strictly prohibited. No tourists, archaeologists, or researchers of any kind are allowed to check it out, as it's sanctioned by the Imperial House, which is part of the Japanese government. So the truth is, nobody actually knows what's inside because nobody in recent years has been in there to check them out. Everything we know about these structures comes from the excavation of the small ones, which are far less impressive and likely were built when they said they were by the ancient Japanese in the year 200 to 600. As for the larger ones, when asked about how they could have been built, Obayashi Construction Company estimated that using the tools and methods available at the time, it would have taken 2,000 workers working non-stop every day for 15 years and 8 months to move the over 1.64 million cubic meters of soil to build these mounds. Now, where have we heard an idea like that before that simply doesn't hold water? Now, I'm not saying that it's absolutely impossible that this isn't how they were built. It could be. But when you consider that Japan is home to enormous megalithic stonework, like the octopus stone, for example, which is over 100 tons in weight, and the many other surrounding megalithic stones at Osaka Castle, for example, I think it's entirely possible that the people who moved these stones, these gigantic stones, which are completely unexplained, nobody knows who put these there or how they put these there, how they cut them, transported, quarried them, or anything. It's possible that the people who did that were also the ones who built the large ancient burial grounds. To me, the story behind these burial grounds is insanely similar to what we found in Egypt. Supposedly, the pyramids at Giza were used as tombs for the pharaoh, and supposedly, these Kofun were used as tombs for the emperors. But as you start to look into the pyramid construction, you can quickly see that it isn't obvious that the ancient Egyptians were the ones who built those things. I think it's entirely possible that for these Kofun in Japan, it's the exact same story as the ancient pyramids, where an advanced ancient global civilization who preceded us and preceded the Japanese built these and then got wiped out by a cataclysm. And then the ancient Japanese settled here and used these Kofun as tombs, but their original purpose is still unknown. It's also worth noting that some of the smaller ones were excavated, and they found things that were very similar to what you might find in Egypt. Some of them had sarcophagi, and some of them had stone vessels. Overall, I think these structures are very mysterious. The smaller ones have been excavated, but nobody has excavated or ever been inside the large ones in recent years. Because of how large and intelligently designed some of these are, paired with the existence of megalithic stonework elsewhere in Japan, I think it's entirely possible that the large ones may hold secrets from an ancient, advanced human civilization that predates the Ice Age, much like has been found in Egypt, for example. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Please comment with any thoughts you have, or if you have any other insight into these strange structures.